up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that.
Yeah. What? We are live. Finally, this is our first live stream. I kind of figure out that I'm not gonna do live stream until I hit 5,000 subscribers. So this is not a celebrating that I have 5,000 subscribers, but just figured like that we can have like 4 viewers instead of 2 viewers. And first of all, I want to say special thanks to my guests. Actually, I am a guest in this house. Well, Johnny Five is also a guest in this house, but my guests on live stream. First of all, it's Brandy, Mr. Nice's beautiful wife, and she's operating our live stream here, doing the production work. And here we have our regular expert, Mr. Nice, and grower or just grower, yeah. Can you guys hear Neil, please? Can you tell if you can hear Neil? Let's see. Yeah, figure out what's happening with the microphone.
I'll talk for a little bit, guys.
Yeah.
So we were talking about when Yvonne first put his first few videos, it was almost upsetting how good they were right off the bat with like first couple of tries. And I was like, you have to keep doing this. If you keep doing this, and after probably his first maybe 4 or 5 videos, I was thinking, you know, you do this for about 1.5 years or 2, you're going to pass me up. And so he's been going for, I'm not exactly sure how much time, but he's definitely on track to do that. 5,000 subs really quick, and I think it's because he's putting out the type of content that you really can't get anywhere else in FPV. It's educational, but also entertaining at the same time.
Yeah, we're trying to be entertaining. Like, we got Mike now. We tested it before, but, you know, it's like not going to work. Just keep it exciting for us. Like, I just didn't put my props on right at the line, and then, like, it was less than 5 and go, and it's... Yeah, happy to be here for sure.
Damn, look at that. Thanks for $10 super chat by Free Range Chicken FPV. Congrats on 5K. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to say, I wanted to say a special thank you, like, to a lot of people, but especially to my wife. Like, in case you didn't know, I have 2 kids, and my wife, you know, she's an awesome person that allows me to do all my drone stuff, allows me to spend like hours and hours just by myself in the room to like recording all these videos. And like, yeah, I really appreciate it. Like, she probably cannot even watch me live now because she's busy with the kids. So I'm a little bit feel guilty about that. Yeah, so thanks a lot to Jane. Yeah, and also I want to say special thanks to like my regular expert, Mr. Nice. Yeah, it's been awesome working with you and like all
Appreciate
the
it.
kind of school and all the other experts like Johnny Five is
Yeah.
expert, Brandy of course always helping to record all the little episodes with Neil and yeah I have like Yosam, Blunty. Sorry, I'm not gonna tell all the names because I'm gonna forget them anyways. So.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see the participation in the channel for sure. Like I think that that's been fun to watch. It's been cool to be a part of and cool to see everybody willing to jump in and like do their features and be willing to be told what to do by Yvonne because I know that they come with like very specific instructions as to what he needs you to do if you're going to be an expert on his video. So like it's been really fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, like sometimes I made like paintings for Neil how he needs to position himself like in the camera and like just like funny paintings sends him over Facebook and then he tries to reproduce exactly how I paint him. Like that's been pretty funny, yeah.
Yeah, it's always entertaining to get my directions for sure.
So we kind of started. I think like one of the first questions was from Mr. Shames. He's a kind of big deal in drone racing because Mr. Shames is a father of Freedom Spec, captain, Hearts of America team captain, and he had a question about when mathematically Le Mans channel gonna pass Johnny Five channel. Like, what do you think about that, Johnny Five?
Is that like our first drama right now? It's like whose channel's gonna grow faster, or like I guess when's the pass gonna be made? I like that.
Yeah, I did get the whole shot, but I was pretty confident after seeing the first view that he was going to pass me at some point, just because the quality was there. And sure enough, people actually started coming to it, flocking to it. And now I think we have some calculations of when it might be.
Yeah, I did a little bit of calculations, and it's exactly 1 year, 8 months if the growth keeps like staying the same. But you know, nobody knows what's gonna happen in 2 years, even in 1 year, in a half year. So also interesting that I asked Joshua Bardwell about his channel growth, and apparently for me to catch Joshua Bardwell, we need to go back in time when he hit 0 subscribers, and that's the time when I was like the same level as Joshua Bardwell. So I need a little bit more growth for my channel to beat Joshua Bardwell in a few years or something.
So, like one. That's just funny. That's you got to go back in time to beat Joshua Bardwell. But the calculation says that like 1.8 years, which is a weird way to say time. I'm not sure how many months that is, but 1.8 years is how long it's going to take you to pass John.
Yeah, like considering the current growth, like linear, because I didn't calculate like the acceleration of the growth. Sorry, but it's not 1.8. It's 1 year, 8 months. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I've been enjoying Johnny Five channel too, and I think the bigger your channel is, just like the harder to get more subscribers that are interested in your content, right? So like, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm excited. I'm excited for my channel, excited for Johnny Five channel. Yeah, and excited for our little shit pilot that we started with Mr. Neil. We're gonna cover it a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also wanted to talk about like what you guys might expect in this live stream. We're hoping it's gonna be like 1 to 2 hours. We figured like 2 hours maximum. We have some pretty spicy questions. Most of them are prepared by Brandy, and this is like you probably could hear she's like, yeah. So it's pretty funny that she's all over FPV drama. And yeah, that's pretty funny.
That's a real trip. I think that when we tried to figure out questions to talk about, that Brandy was able to come up with more questions than any of us to discuss, like FPV drama. And I think it's funny, like everybody knows in our Discord that Brandy's really into FPV drama, and so it's funny to like, but that she was ready to whip out some questions like right away.
Yeah, like 15 of them or so, like 10 of them, like right. Yeah, that's really wild.
So, yeah, but I guess I'm also excited to just answer any questions that anybody has in the chat, like as far as like what drama that they want to see covered, or just anything they want to hear us talk shit about. I guess I guess that's what we're here for.
Yeah, also apologize in advance that we kind of like, we have pretty crazy setup here, as you might see. Brandy, can you please switch to like GoPro view? What do we have here? So this is all we here sitting like in a room, and you see Brandy like
So serious. I love
Brandy's like operating. So we have a little bit of problems with microphones because I didn't expect these problems that like microphones gonna be picking each other a little bit. So apologize in advance. So if you like see some echo. Do I pronounce it correctly? Echo? Yeah. Yeah, but that's what we have to deal with. Kind of figure out it would be funny and fun to have all of us in the same room instead of doing like internet. So Johnny5, thank you very much. He had to drive here for like 2 hours. Neil had to drive here for like approximately 2 seconds from his bedroom to here.
Yeah,
he just woke up.
Right over there, right that way.
Yeah, and I live approximately like 40 minutes from here. So, but this is what we're dealing with. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see. We don't have a studio, but my living room feels very studio-esque right now with everything that we got going on. So, yeah, it's pretty dope. And like, yeah, I think at some point, well, maybe if this keeps going or it blows up, we may have to get better microphones and we'll get it situated. But this feels pretty fancy right now, and I just saved myself from an F-bomb right there. And so I'm feeling good about it for sure.
Let's read some of the. I saw Mr. Kevin Turner donated $20 super chat. This is awesome.
Oh
yeah,
shit,
Kevin is a great
awesome.
guy and a father of a great guy as well. And love to have all of you in the live stream. And we have also we have a lot of super chats. Rabbit Ambulance super chat. Rabbit Ambulance, he's also like my Patreon subscriber. Thank you very much. And he says, I'm a shit pilot.
Yeah, well, we're all shit pilots, so I love that he's already on board with it. But like, and for a microphone fund, like, and it's kind of sad because I really thought that I had a nice microphone, and Yvonne was like, oh well, like we like you got. I was like, oh yeah, I got a good microphone. Like we're gonna be good, and like mine's the most shit out of the group, so it's pretty funny. But I guess it's working. I don't know, but I appreciate that. Rabbit Ambulance for sure.
Yeah, and we have Steven's box. He says he loves Open Racer DJI 3. Yeah, I think I love it too. Build 3 quads with canopy modes. See them on rotor builds by Stevens. Any chance of a squished X frame design? Well, that's like just requires like an arm change design. And then, I don't know, well, I can make it one day, but I don't see like a big purpose of that. Because if you change the arm geometry, then it's more like chances you're gonna break the arm, because it should be a little bit longer than on True X. Yeah, so.
But hey, like the cool thing about the Open Racer though is that like it's open source. Like somebody could make arms for it and put them out there, and like that could be the hot thing. Like for sure.
And like everybody here flies Open Racer, even Brandy, right? He flies Open Racer in her heart. Yeah, and Johnny5 flies Open Racer too now. These days with HDZero, we still fly analog with Mr. Neil.
Yeah. You were able to get me on board after like many years of resisting, and I finally, I don't want to say caved. I finally came around and saw the light, and I'm excited to be shining bright now for sure.
Clifffield, thanks for $11 super chat. I agree with you. Gazebo is a stupid word. Like, and if you actually go online, because I was arguing with that about Neil, but if you actually go online and check the origin of this word, you will see that it's a joke word. It's like consists of 2 words, like gazy and Igbo, like something like this, and like it's a like joke word. So yeah,
I love that you hate the word gazebo so much that you looked it up to like prove that it's a garbage.
No, that was free. Free looked it up.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But just that, like, it was so much of a conversation one night that we figured it out.
Yeah,
I love that.
All right, I think Johnny5 wanted to say something. No.
Oh no, I saw a couple of comments right there, and we got some dramas in there. I don't know if we want to get to them yet, but somebody asked whatever happened to the Texas club where the guy that used to do the battery stress test. I think they're talking about Astro and said Hindo.
Yeah.
I saw said Hindo in person, and I was like, I felt like the biggest fan because I walked up to him and I didn't realize I had my camera in my hand and just like stuck it in his face and recording. And I was like, said Hindo, are you back? He was at the Mayhem race last year with Adma 20.
That's right. And Justin Skinner showed up with him too. They all rolled up together. It was like old school legacy Dallas crew. All those guys are so cool. And like we're really doing it back then. But I just think like, you know, like everything, you know, just a lot of people have moved on in this hobby to other interests. And, you know, those guys have too. But not Justin. Justin Skinner's killing it right now, you know, doing the live streams for like all the big races. I mean, he's really getting it. So it's awesome to see him out there doing his thing. But I do really miss seeing Astro and said Hindo. Those guys were awesome. And like Astro was such a fast pilot in those days. Like he was like one of the fastest guys around at that time. For surely like fastest guy in Texas, like him and Vanover at the time. You know, it was just really, even like he was faster than Vanover, because I remember Vanover posting a video like showing his DVR about how he was racing with Astro, and he was super gassed up to like be at that level to be racing with Astro. And like, well, we see where Alex has gone to now, and so that's really awesome. Like, but that's just how OG those guys are for sure.
Yeah, thanks for Small FPV. He says legends in the hobby. I hope he's talking about us. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah,
well,
but thank you.
Those guys are legends for sure. Like,
yeah, they are. Yeah.
Doubt.
So let's move to our first sort of scheduled question that we wanted to talk about Orca and like how we feel about all this situation about Orca breaking. And I know Neil has a lot to say about that. That was a fun, sorry I started, but I think that was a kind of fun, at least for me, drama, because me and Neil and Johnny Five were at ice race. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything major, like the world didn't, you know, we still race with our Orca goggles. But Neil, this is your word.
Oh, this is my word. Well, I don't know. I think like it was definitely a stressful moment in that just the unknown that was happening, right? Like you just wake up in the morning on a race day and you expect to be like, you know, anything can happen on a race day, but you just never expect that your goggles aren't going to work, or like in that everybody's goggles aren't going to work, or a big chunk of people. So, I mean, that was definitely like a stressful moment. Oh yeah. Oh, got you. That works. Oh yeah, is that better? Like we like that better. Or maybe I can also like turn my gain up. We had my gain turned down for the thing, so hopefully that's better. Yeah, I mean, I really think that. So, anyways, it was kind of stressful. It was exciting at the moment. We were worried first to turn our goggles on. Period. I think we were kind of lucky that we were in the U.S. and like time zones after people had already figured out kind of what was going on, that it was going to happen on the second power up. So we ended up just deciding to, plug our goggles into a giant battery. Free gave me this big Li-ion battery. Excuse me, and then I zip tied it closed because like it's my habit to unplug my goggles just every time when I'm done flying. And so we put zip ties on it so we wouldn't unplug it so that we could get through the race that day.
And it's my habit to unplug Neil's goggles too. So
yeah, it's also Yvonne's habit to unplug my goggles. We've all seen that. So, I mean, as far as that goes as the race day, like, I guess we can go on to more.
Oh, Neil's microphone is out. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, it was definitely a stressful day. I wasn't flying Orca, and I was still stressed for everyone else around me. And but it was really nice. We said kind of in the video that everybody kept going as far as helping each other, and nobody had to skip even one round. Like everybody flew all their packs. And that was pretty nice of everybody working together. People were helping each other, even though we're competing for a lot of money. That's the biggest money race of the year. And everybody just kept going, and we got everybody in the air. So
what do you think about like all right, so we all feel not like,
Yeah,
you know,
my mic's on Orca firmware for sure. It's bricked. It's funny.
how do you guys feel about the drama itself? Not about you and Orca goggles, but about the drama. People saying that they're not gonna use Orca anymore. Don't advise Orca to anyone because who knows if it's gonna happen one more time. Like, what do you think about that?
That's tough for me because, I mean, I really like the guys at Orca. Like, as far as a company that showed up to events and like supported pilots, those guys like Vladko and Tony now being a part of Orca with Immersion, and Ivan they have there, and the whole team, like they have come to events, they've talked to pilots, they've hung out, they've just been a part of it, you know. And I think that really means a lot, that they care about the sport, they care about the industry. I mean, obviously it's a business, so like they're there for a purpose, but they are there and present, and that means a lot to me. So I really like those guys a lot. And like, man, if I think about it like as a business owner too, that's just really tough. And like, you know, shit happens to people, and you know, like, and it's not about what happens, it's about how you deal with it in the moment and how you deal with it afterwards. And I feel like if I put myself in their shoes and like you just have like reports coming in from literally around the globe that your product is failing left and right. I mean, that is just such a scary moment to put myself in. And then to think that those guys were able to figure out that like this is what's happening, and like you know, this is a shit situation, but here's a fix to get pilots in the air. And they put together the little dock and they got it out to the people that needed to have it so that we were able to race. And like, hats off to Chris Thomas from MultiGP2. Like they set up like a repair station in the back of the race, and we're just taking people's goggles and getting them unbricked. And so like, I really just think that, you know, like, yeah, that really sucks for Orca that it happened, but I really feel like they responded, in my mind, in time, like as quickly as they could. And I don't really know I don't think we'll ever know exactly what's happened with the rest of it. And, you know, but like, I just feel like as far as something happening and them responding, and I feel really good about that.
I also wanted to add, because I see some criticism for Orca that they allowed like a third party, even like binaries, not the actual code, that they didn't verify. And because like I work in IT industry, like I'm a software developer, and I know in modern days, like the big companies and small companies, they don't see all the code of all the programs they're dealing with, right? Because these days, when you build a program, you build it from a giant blocks, and sometimes you take someone's block and you don't get to see its code, and that's normal. It's not like Microsoft checks every code for everything they're using, even if it's a third party, right? This is not happening, and it can happen to any company, and I think it happened before too with some other companies, like we just probably don't know about that. So the fact that they didn't verify all the code because they didn't even have it, I think there's just, I don't know, I don't get this. I don't think this is legit complaint about Orca. This is just how it works in modern days. Like 20 years ago, when you build a program, all right, you open this little like notepad window in DOS or whatever it was, and then you write the whole program by yourself. But now you just pick giant blocks from other people writing, and that's normal. Like, so yeah, there we go. What do you think, Johnny 5?
I think they responded well and quickly. But a lot of people were just saying, and I have to kind of think about like what's the biggest impact of what should be considered like almost a high reliability situation. Maybe not as critical as something like a hospital or a bank or something like that, or transportation, something like that. But there were people out there that I heard at least one person say they lost a job, they got on set, goggles were bricked, didn't have the fix, and they had to go home. luckily all of the racers weren't impacted that way. So I feel the same way about Orca. They're definitely supporting the industry more than just about anyone else I can think of in the last couple of years. But just from a failure standpoint of it happening, like how severe is it? I think our community is small enough to where we can get on, forgive, and forget. Like I would still personally fly Orcas over a pair of Fat Sharks. Because I feel like Fat Shark hasn't had that big of a single failure, but they've had a systematic series of failures that are very like anti-consumer. I feel like they kind of took advantage of the market lead that they had, and so I still feel better about Orca than say Fat Shark.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like an analog goggle available today, I still think it's the best goggle that you can fly with. But I understand people's concerns. I understand that it was a poor situation. It would really suck to lose a job because your equipment didn't work. I mean, that's always going to be terrible because I know, I just know how hard it is to get a job, to fly for somebody. So it really sucks to get there and not be able to perform your work.
But I figured, like, if you are in this situation, you would, like, find someone to, I don't know, get your goggles from, right? Analog goggles is not something you can borrow, like, I don't know. You can always find someone.
Yeah, true. I guess just like for that guy, if he just like we were on a race, we were at a race, but he just showed up that day to work and plugged his goggles in the second time, and like that's when they break for him. I guess I'm just like, so I mean that totally sucks that it happened, but I just feel like, again, we don't know the whole story, but all I know is that is how Orca has responded, and that that we were able to fly that day. So.
Yeah, and I think, like, of course, I think everyone agrees that they for sure didn't know it's coming, because if they did, they would, like, have a fix in advance, right? So they for sure didn't know that. So, yeah. Yeah, anyway, so...
Here's a good question, though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just to cover more of the drama that I guess we haven't covered, because maybe it just sounds like we're just, like, loving Orca too hard. But, like, yeah, Krunk says, did Orca know? Did they just, like, let the license lapse? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, if they knew it was going to happen, or did they just didn't pay the license fee and broke the contract? Like,
well, that's the thing. So it's hard to believe for me that was the license, because imagine if it's a real license, then, all right, Orca pays to this guy or this is a company for the license, and then they're gonna email to everyone saying, all right, we updated the license, everyone update firmware. Because even if Orca paid for the license, all these goggles, imagine, like, there are like hundreds of goggles probably laying around the stores, like Pyroflip, 533, whatever stores, they like, all their goggles break now, right? And I don't believe it's just a license. I don't know. What do you think, Brandy? Yeah, anyway, so I think it's enough about Orca, right? Well, Johnny5 said about the Orca supports FPV and racing, and yeah, that's true. But I also think HDZero supports FPV and racing a lot, and it's been like they've been bringing the game up of supporting. They're like sponsoring Malta GP races. They're sponsoring a lot of fast pilots like Minchen switching to HDZero. Yeah, and that's been awesome. But of course, there's also some drama about HDZero as well that we wanted to cover a little bit. This drama, you see, we're like talking serious faces about fun drama. That's just how it is. So I think first drama about HDZero is not a big deal. I think is that at Ice Race the video wasn't good, and I think the video was worse than analog there. For some reason, it was way more interference, especially if you check Livestream. I don't know what's happening. That's just how it is. I've never seen it before at any other events with HDZero, but that particular place, I've heard that HDZero should be good with like reflections from the wall. Apparently, maybe it's not. So this was like some of the drama. And Johnny5 was flying HDZero there. How do you feel about that?
I thought it was going to be better, so I actually built 4 HDZero tiny trainers and had a little bit of video issues for sure. And I think maybe there was an issue with the temperature sensors because I had a couple that just wouldn't stay on, and I had to switch them at the line. And when I got them home, they worked fine. So I don't know if it was because we were too close to the ice, it didn't know what it was doing, but the image was definitely worse. I think it was still flyable, but if for everybody that paid more and did more work to install it, to have it perform a little worse, there's no perfect system out there. And it is the first time I've seen it behave worse than analog, but I guess it can. Like, it's sort of a rare spot that we would fly in, totally metal structure like that. And it was interesting to see, but I do know that the top 3 on the podium for 5-inch, we're all flying HDZero. So it didn't impact them that much.
Yeah, but because we're talking about drama, you have to ask a question like, did they pay for this gear? Would they be flying HDZero if they weren't provided the gear, if they were provided the gear? So, and of course, this is a smart move by HDZero to, like, that's how you should do. You pick the fastest pilots out there and you sponsor them. So I don't think they were fast because of HDZero. I think they were fast because they are fast even before HDZero. That's why HDZero picked them, right? And
yeah, that's a tough one. There's a total chicken in the... Well, I guess it's not a chicken and the egg there. It's totally like those guys are fast, and that's why they're chosen to fly that equipment. So, like, they would have been there... I mean, nobody thinks that if Minchan didn't have HDZero, he wouldn't have been in the finals. Same way, like, it's no surprise that Neuka was in the finals. It's no surprise that Hyper was in the finals, right? So, like, those guys are finals-worthy pilots. But it is interesting to know, I mean, like, and we'll never, I mean, I guess there is a way to know, but is there a true advantage to it, or is it just marketing? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we never get to know, but I think like 90 FPS is like for sure, 50% bigger than 60 FPS, and 90 FPS is something. Yeah, thanks for $2 super chat by Isaac Mitchell, and $2 super chat by, I don't know Glide Time. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was great meeting you too at the ice race. That was dope.
Yeah.
And look, Yawson says, I don't think anyone has actually bought HDZero gear. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I think that some people
Well,
have.
all right.
But I'll just say that I don't have any HDZero gear. Like,
So while we're talking about Yosem, I think Mr. Yosem is being, I don't know, some kind of a deal with Walksnail, right?
Oh,
so
yeah, I did see he's like a
latest
whole
live
live
streams,
stream
you
about
can
it,
go
yeah.
check Yosem live stream,
That's
and he's
right.
been flying this weird, I would say it's a weird system, Walksnail, because like what's advantage over DJI except night vision cameras, like
Yeah.
DJI, I think
that's cool. I didn't realize it had night vision.
yeah,
That's dope.
yeah, that's cool. But like Yosem, I think on one of his live streams he was flying at night. But yeah, I don't know. So Yosem, just tell us what kind of deal you have with Walksnail.
Spill the tea, Yawson. Spill the tea. That's what we're here for. So, yeah, I think, who knows? I'll just say that if the question was, do I think anybody in the finals paid for those goggles? And my answer is no. Like, I don't think anybody paid for them because they shouldn't have paid for them. Like, they are the class of pilots that they should not have to pay for those goggles to run that gear. And that's what I believe. And so hats off to them for putting the work in to like be in that place, to put themselves in that position. Yeah.
This is the Freedom Spec race where top 6, we noticed everyone was running Orca and Rapid Fire. And so did any of those top 6 pay for those Orca goggles last year? And
Yeah, okay. That's a good question.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. No. Just-
We already finished the Orca segment of the discussion.
So Mr. Yosem says that he pays for all the gear so far. Did you pay 100% of the price?
So far, can we get a heavy underline on so far? Because that, I think, is the best promotion I've seen of that gear yet. Like, at least the best, most recent promotion for it.
And so, I'm not gonna lie, I love Carl from HDZero. I met him in person multiple times. He's a great guy and great engineer. I am just a little bit salty with HDZero because so far, like HDZero goggles doesn't work with analog as good as other goggles, especially like Sky Zones. You know, they have like a weird interference when you have a weak signal, and sometimes with reflections you get like extra artifacts in analog. Like most of people don't notice that, but we're flying at night spot with a lot of Wi-Fi, and I already lost like a few batteries just because like you're full sending on 6S, and then like the whole screen shifts and like going like violent colors, and it's just like wanking into the like ground. So yeah, I'm a little bit salty about that, even though I understand that this is not like HDZero priority to make analog work, but I was hoping that it will help my transition to HDZero smoothly and slowly. But yeah, so I guess I'll have to do it like, I don't know, all at once, but it's not yet.
Do it harder and tighter.
Yeah, so did we cover enough Orca and HDZero drama? Yeah. You think so?
I think so.
Yeah. All right. We're moving to the questions, or like I think we need to talk a little bit about Shit Pilot, right? Because we also had a question about Shit Pilot.
Yeah.
So the question was, and this is the question was from Brandy. So the question was from Brandy, are you guys real shit pilots, or just calling yourself that way so that others feel better?
That's a good question. So are we really shit pilots, or are we just saying that to make other people feel better?
Tell you at the ice race in the brackets was the most nervous I think I've been since like my first race over almost 6 years ago. Like my hands were physically shaking and I couldn't stop doing it. And there was one point I was in the lead. I was about to get the bump up, my first round of brackets, and like 50 feet from the finish line, I hit one of the little wood things out of nowhere. Like, no, I wasn't battling anybody. I just had to like not crash, and if I would have crashed forward, I might have rolled through the finish gate, and I didn't. And so that was definitely a shit pilot move. And I knew I looked up and saw Neil behind me, and I was like, oh man, I just feel like this. I just disapprove. This look of disapproval, like, why did you do that? And that's just how it goes sometimes, though. Sometimes it gets the best of you, and that happens to everybody.
Yeah. So I think Neil has a lot to say about shit pilot, right? So I'm gonna answer for myself. I think it's all relative, and I am a shit pilot. Relative to someone, I am good pilot. Relative to some other pilots, I am a shit pilot. But I treat myself as a shit pilot so that I can get better like next day. So there we go.
Well, I think that's the perfect segue for me there to think like that. You think of yourself like a shit pilot so you could get better the next day. I think that like, how do I don't want to get too deep into it right away, but like, yeah, like, I think the shit pilot's a very exciting thing to me. I mean, it was born from like a joke in our videos, like a skit that like and I think the really first one came from like the thought of like, well, I need a better tune and I need to have this better and that's going to make me fly better. And that's like, no, like you're just a shit pilot. And if you just practice more, like you'll be better. You'll be way better if you practice more than if you like, than if you have a better tune. And so that's where it like first started. But I really think it's matured and grown a lot in my mind. And like, I mean, I really just think that everyone's a shit pilot, and I think it's so awesome that Minchan like wanted to be a part of our launch as well, because I think that just goes to show that if Minchan sees that he's a shit pilot, then it's really true that we're all shit pilots, and like nobody's too good to be a shit pilot, and I think it really just boils down to, at some point, it's like that we recognize that we're shit and that we want to improve, we want to get better, and we're gonna be better tomorrow, and like and that's what we're here for. It's about the pursuit. And if you think about it even more like globally than that, it's like we're all like this pilot navigating through the shit of life, and like we're here to like make our way through it and be the best that we can be. And so we're all a shit pilot, like whether you fly drones or you don't, like whether you think you're good or you're not, or whether you really think you're shit and you don't think you're good enough to keep going, like you're a shit pilot and you're gonna be better tomorrow, and like that's what we're here for.
Well, if you realize you're a shit pilot, because if you don't realize you're a shit pilot, then tomorrow you're not going to be better. And I think, well, look at Minchin. He's still I think he's the period just best drone racer in the world, right?
Yeah.
And he still keep practicing because he realizes that tomorrow he must be better than he is now. And we're looking at his lines and we think he's insane, but he's looking at his own lines and he sees all the mistakes he's making and he's trying to improve all of them. So if you are a beginner there, you need to come to a race or start practicing freestyle tricks, whatever, and just start working on that, right? The earlier you do, the faster you're gonna be, the faster you can be better than you are.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to say there too. That and shit pilot isn't just about racing. It's literally about everybody. Definitely. I want all freestylers to be hashtag shit pilot in every one of their videos, right next to hashtag HQ or whatever. I just think that it's encapsulating for all of us, and that we're here for it.
Yeah, and by the way, so shitpilot.com. Just like that, without spaces, just like shitpilot.com. You can go get a t-shirt. It's I think it's 2 days left for the t-shirt that Mr. Neil is wearing now. It's t-shirt and hoodie, and I think Neil just launched another thing.
And our second drop just dropped today. I put it on an hour before here, and that's the one Yvonne's got on right now. It's seen I've worn that one. That was my first one to wear to a couple of events. And so that one I'm calling what's the eternal golden hour, or just golden hour. There we went. It kind of pared it down some, but that's our golden hour tee. And I'm pretty gassed up about that one too. That was the first design that I made, and I'm excited to have it out there for everybody. There's just 1 day left on this design, and I'm just blown away by the response for it. I think Yvonne and I were thinking, I thought maybe man, I bet we could sell 50 of these if we if it really goes if it really pops off, we could sell 50 of them. And and Yvonne's no, I really think we're gonna sell 30 at best, and he was serious about that. And I'm just really blown away by the response from everybody, and really gassed up that last I looked we had sold 120 of them. And so I just feel I'm excited that everybody's buying into it, and not buying into it, excited that everybody sees the value in it and wants to be a part of it. And I'm just excited to see where it goes from here. And we have a lot of cool ideas about what's next, after this. And I'm just I'm gassed up to see where it goes. And I appreciate everyone's support so far, and appreciate everyone sharing it and being a part of it. And I can't wait to see them out there in the wild.
Thanks for $5 super chat from Mr. Stevens Box with a good question that he wants to get into racing. Any advice? Please continue to end your vids with slow-mo drone paces. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So, well, Johnny 5 has an awesome video about how to get into racing, and I think the main advice about getting into racing is just show up ASAP. Just find your first race and go. Don't wait until you're this good. Because we're never going to be this good. We're all shit pilots. We all crash into the gates. Crashing is normal. There's no shame in crashing, right? Shame is not trying to get better, This is the shame. Shame is sit home thinking you're not good enough to show up at the race. This is shame. So you got to show up, and, you're going to find the good people in the racing community. I think, I'm not sure about European racing community, but I think we're kind of blessed here in the United States that we have a community, and we're blessed here in Houston that we have a core crew that keeps racing. Yeah. So, but you can find group pretty around the world, and if you don't have a group near you, then just organize this group. You don't have to be a good pilot to be a good organizer, right? That's also a good, right?
Johnny, any comment about that?
Yeah, for sure, just go. And it's interesting that I feel a lot of people are just nervous about going for their first time. I'm not sure if I've always done hobbies where I've always been a noob, so I wasn't so worried about being the worst one. And so I remember my first couple of races, Neil was there telling me what to do, answering questions about how to stay in the air. And years later, like he's still somebody I ask about, like, how did you do this line? How did you do that line? And so don't be worried about being the worst one, the slowest one. If you can finish even a single lap or half of a lap, you did great for your first day, for sure. Yep. Yeah. So we had a super chat from Omar. He's actually one of the Houston crew, and I remember taking a picture of Omar sitting in a nice chair in the bed of his truck, just lounging with a cigar. And so, you know, everybody can come out. FPV time isn't just about competing. It's about relaxation. It's about hanging out with the crew, meeting people to help fix your stuff whenever you need it. And so, like, if you've ever been a car guy, it's a really easy transition because every FPV meetup is just like a Cars and Coffee almost. And so then the other cool thing is, and we also had another super chat, $13 from FP Vegan. Yes, Vegan. Oh man. So I'm guessing that means he wouldn't. One of the favorite things to do with the Houston crew sometimes is to grill up sausages. So we would have to alter that for FP Vegan. I'm assuming that means no sausages.
Well, you know, even Derek was able to handle it for sure. I mean, like, I think, you know, it's all good advice. And I see Lundy wrote here, like, just show up to your local chapter. And nobody's going to judge you. And that's the truth. I really, you know, Lundy is like one of the old school chapter organizers. So he's seen a lot of new pilots come in and be discouraged. But I really think that like Yvonne said, the only real shame is just not showing up. And like, that's the sad part. That you just got to show up and fly. And, like, there's no shame in showing up and even not flying gates. Like, just flying above the gates or just, you know, whatever your comfort level is. And I always tell people, if it's your first day, if you fly one single lap, like, you won the day. Like, you are the winner of that race that day. Like, because we're all just racing ourselves out there anyways. So, like, I really think, yeah, that the key there is to just show up. Show up for sure. I saw, like, I'm just gonna, like, roll down the chat some more. I saw, like, a question about the shirt and the sizes. I went a size up on my hoodie, and I'm really glad I went a size up on my hoodie. I went a size up on this shirt, and, like, I kind of feel like I wish I wouldn't have gone a size up on the shirt. Like, this shirt's feeling kind of big right now.
Yeah, I think on the website they have, like, if you go to the website, they have like a diagram of the shirt and hoodie sizes depending on like which like L or XL you pick. So like you can check that out too, like in inches, like centimeters, inches. Yeah. You can have a look.
But I mean, it also hadn't been washed yet. But just like that's where I'm at. But I was definitely glad I went a size up on the hoodie for sure. I see a Cleveland call out. Cleveland! I love the whole Cleveland guys, like that whole crew. Then we got a long Detroit call out. You know, I hadn't heard a Detroit call out IRL, so I don't know if like what the right tone is for it. So I don't want to butcher it, but I just see the long Detroit call out too. So, yeah.
All right, so we're moving to our drama questions, or what? You ready, guys? I'm kind of nervous about that.
Next? Oh, well, here's one to lead into. So, and I know which one you'll lead. So Lundy says, I don't recognize most people without goggles on your head. And so, like there's a question. I don't know if it made the list or you just, okay. Well, I'll just put it out there. That Brand says that especially when like they post, you know, you go to every race and then there's some really good photographers that post like nice pictures of every pilot flying with their goggles on while they're in the air. And she said it looks like every pilot's O face. Like, so it's like all these guys with their goggles on, like, like, and however you see they're still when they have their goggles, that's what they look like in their most excited
So you
moments.
just said it on live stream.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Just making sure.
Yeah, I did say that. I don't think I actually said any bad words, so it's okay. Like,
yeah, so yeah, I think like a little bit adding to the previous question that like Omar is saying like why Derek has so many raids. Like we're always joking that Derek has like 6 raid profiles on the Switch, and like Yeah, Derek is a local guy. He's a great guy. Yeah, I think he doesn't have any more. But also a good advice if you just start racing, don't mess with the tune. Don't mess with your rates. Like a lot of people like to mess with their rates, but I think it doesn't matter at all. You can fly default race. Race is just whatever you get used to. Like race don't feel comfortable for the first 2 days, and then you get used to them, and then you're good. The moment you change the race, you're going back into your in your skill, and then you have to get used to them again. So just stick. I don't know. I stick with defaults, and it's just easier. So yeah, don't change your rates.
Chat. Just a
Hey
note.
there, buddy.
He's got a pretty nice crew out in Philly, and so even if you don't go to race, you can still meet up with people in freestyle, and that's another way to get better. Make those connections so you know who to help you fix if you need it. And if you're a freestyler, maybe once a year come out to a race, and if you're a racer, maybe once a year go meet out with some freestylers and do some building diving.
Yeah, man, I just thought that a bot grinder would be a perfect fit for IO. Like bot grinder, if you show up to IO,
He's been to a couple.
Did I see him in it?
I don't know, but I know that he's definitely been there. For
All right,
sure.
yeah. Well, then you gotta make it more. I didn't see you there,
gotta
bot
come
grinder.
find Ivan. Ivan,
Just
you gotta
come
find him.
Yeah.
You gotta try harder.
You
gotta work to see bot grinder. It doesn't just
Damn,
happen
do I
on
need
its
to
own.
pay someone or?
I think one him or something. Was that
Yeah, I mean,
IO or
it's
was that a
VIP
rotor ride
status for
event?
sure. I don't know, but it's
Damn, I kind of missed it. Maybe I didn't know.
Oh,
who
he
it
just
was.
said he just didn't go last year. Yeah, but he does. I mean, who doesn't love IO? It's if you like drones and you like festivals, let's say, if you like to hang out with people who like drones, go to IO because that's definitely the place to be, for sure.
Awesome.
Should you camp or should you stay at a hotel?
Yeah, all right. This is the first not super drama question, but it's about IO. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil, you want to repeat the question?
Yeah, absolutely. So the question about IO is should you camp or should you stay in a hotel? And by God, you should camp out there for sure. That is the way to do IO. I mean, I know that the RV area is already sold out this year. Excuse me, my goodness. I just got so excited about camping at IO. My body's just going crazy. But yes. Oh, what is IO, Steven Buck says? It's the International Open, the Multi-GP International Open. It happens in Muncie, Indiana, every year at the AMA headquarters. It's 1,000-acre facility. There's 6 or 8 tracks spread across the whole thing. Yeah, there's a freestyle area. There's a tiny whoop tent that goes from sun down to sun up, literally. It's a serious party there, 24 hours a day, and some very incredible talent that amasses for that race. Yeah, it's a 5-day-long event. Yvonne and I have camped out there the last, I think, 3 years in an RV together, and that's just for sure the way to go. I haven't missed an IO yet. And I don't see myself ever missing one. It's just the best event of the year.
Yeah, you've been there once. You don't want to miss it again. That's for sure. So if you don't know what's that, multigp.com, I think they have the all the information on the main page. It's happening at the end. This year is happening at the end of June, right? Somewhere there. Yeah. So you can still buy tickets and go. Yeah, it's a little bit on the pricey side because you need to buy plane tickets, probably rent a car or carpool with someone. But it's totally worth it. It's totally worth it.
We got a super chat coming in from Fly Tribe Magazine. Super appreciate that. I'm glad you're liking the stream. I feel like it's going pretty good for our first one, at least from my end. At least I feel like it's going well. And
Neil feels confident.
I feel good about it so far. Yeah, and mad love for the community, this community, and I got to echo that 1,000 times. That I got super love for this community, and I appreciate you sharing that love too, Fly Tribe.
All right, what's our next question, Brandy? All right, Neil, you got to repeat this question.
Okay, so at IO, how short will that white goat guy's shorts be at IO? I mean, I guess the question is, can they get any shorter? from Memphis. Yeah, most of them come from Memphis.
Oh, I'm talking mute. Yeah. So I think like white goat guys from Memphis, like a great group of guys, very fun to hang with. But like every IO, they're wearing super short shirts with like American flag, and so kind of like bringing attention to them. So that's kind of fun. So yeah, that's a fun question, and I think that question was from Brandy, right? Like, of course, yeah.
So I see a question that I see two comments about the tracks at IO. So Yawsome saying the tracks this year are going to be fire at IO. I agree that's going to be the case. The Interspace Alien asks, are there any grower tracks at IO? But I got to say no to that. There are no grower tracks at IO this year. I feel like they gave me enough tracks last year, and maybe they needed a break. I'm not really sure, but there's some really talented guys making the tracks at IO this year. It's going to be an interesting format from what I hear. I don't really know if that's what it's going to be, but
look at that, what Armando saying.
What's
if
Armando
they go
saying?
any shorter,
Yeah.
it will no longer be a family-friendly event. That is true.
I think it's very true because we already saw what happens if they go lower, and everybody saw way more of Lundy than anybody wanted to see. And so I think it's dangerous if those shorts get any smaller that we may have some more body part slippage. So it could
All
be
right,
dangerous.
before we go too deep into that, what's our next question?
This question short?
Yeah.
Is he cutting it short? Oh, this shit is good. Oh man, yeah. No, I think I love all those guys so much. So yeah, I don't think they need any encouragement, but they don't need it. That's for sure.
Yeah, all right.
Let's talk about the sock.
Oh, this is Neil all about it.
Okay,
That's for sure.
I feel like all these are me.
Yeah, so this is the question from Sean Ames, Heart of America team captain, father of Freedom Spec. The second question from Shames, and he said like about sock puppet drama and why it's 100% Sky.
Okay, yeah. So for anybody that doesn't know, you could check it out. There's a page called the FPV Sock Puppet, and it showed up maybe 2 months ago. It is an anonymous page that posts like spicy FPV memes, and some of them are quite spicy, and they're all pretty good. And it's been like quite an exciting little manhunt, if you will, to try, or woman hunt, who knows, to try to figure out who is the sock puppet. So we have a list of suspects. Most of this sleuthing has been done in our nightly Discord, and I don't know. It's been fun to try to figure out who it's gonna be for sure.
Yeah, so go check it out. Go check it out. It's on Facebook. Sock Puppet FPV, and Brandy's laughing hard. Now we want to hear why Brandy's laughing.
There's been a couple people suspect it's me.
Yeah, well, that's possible. That's totally possible. Yeah, Sock Puppet FPV on Facebook. Although I think we need to like spice it up a little bit. I think Sock Puppet, why we think it's Sky.
Yeah.
Why I think it might be Sky, because Sock Puppet is kind of light on on Street League. So Street League, if you don't know, Street League is the type of racing you build like a giant 7-inch drones, and you have to have a weight. You have to have like certain motors, and basically that's how they race. And Sky is one of the founders, right, of Street League. This Sock Puppet FPV goes kind of light on Street League. So they make fun of 533, they make fun of Freedom Spec. This is another like racing racing league, but I don't know,
also crushed MLDR a couple of times, so didn't take it light on MLDR. And there are Street League like memes, but they're kind of mild. In the world of like the spice level of what they could be, they're pretty mild. But if that's the only evidence you got on Sky, let me just dazzle you with some more. Because because Sky does reside highly on my list of suspects. And like we can just start with that first. We'll call it the he who smelt it dealt it, because Sky was the first person to announce to anyone that the sock puppet existed. He claims, and like rightly so, but I'll just say that Sky's defense was that the sock puppet began to follow the Street League Discord, right? Sky being founder of Street League, or one of the founders of Street League, is like an admin of Street League Discord, so saw that the sock puppet began to follow him, and then saw that, and that page had started like 2 weeks or so prior to Sky, quote unquote, finding it. And so anyway, so Sky's got the he who smelt it dealt it, because he also then he announced it to everybody. Oh, hey guys, come look at this like Discord that I found. It's got all these spicy memes. But like at the same time, it's kind of like if you make a secret like Facebook page and you put all these spicy memes on there and you want people to find it, and it's been 2 weeks of you posting memes and nobody's found it yet, like that's really going to start building like the angst inside that you need people to find it and need people to see it. So I think that's like 2 weeks in, Sky just couldn't handle it anymore and like had to get it out there that people needed to find the page.
I wish Sky is watching here. Sky, let us know if you're watching. He's probably should be like a sock puppet here. I am watching.
yeah, it's just gonna show up here. So okay, so Sky's on the top of the list. Really, I kind of feel like, but none of the Street League founders, being Sky, Leadfingers, or honestly my boy J Rice, are 100% off the list, because that whole crew just really loves memes too much, and like a lot of the memes. Definitely, whoever the sock puppet is a member of the Street League Discord and the Kids Corner Discord, because there are memes that showed up there. I don't know about but like there a lot of the memes that are posted on sock puppet were on the Street League Discord. So
$10 super chat from Heart of America FPV, which is Mr. Sean Ames, father of Freedom Spec. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
T-Dog, go get him. Tell him we're putting him on blast.
100%,
right now.
Yeah. Winder says that's how dark web started.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sky, top of the list there for sure. Leadfingers is definitely on the list. There's been some sock puppet-esque activity out of Leadfingers. But still, the most damning evidence, we got really sleuthy, and I started a private message with the sock puppet so that I could like try to get some information out of him. So I've got my own little sideline to the sock puppet, and we analyzed the way that the sock puppet used capitalization and punctuation in the beginning of our chats. Was a very odd way to use the punctuation. So we went and looked at all of the private message chats that each of us had individually with our suspect lists. And we found that Sky's use of capitalization and punctuation like identically matched the use of our early sock puppet communique. So that really is leaving Sky on the top of the list for me for sure, and I think that's enough of me. Like that's the bulk of the evidence that I have at this moment, or that I'm willing to divulge at this time. We'll say, yeah. So the sock puppet, go check it out. Amari says, "I know Sky, it's not him." I don't know, like that's tough. Well, Amari, that's interesting because your ass is on the list too. Like
Neil just said ass.
I did say ass, so we can put that on my cuss count. But but I guess shit doesn't count. Like yeah. So like, but yeah, Amari, you have had some auspicious. I mean, you just make memes too fast, my guy. Like you really enjoy making a meme, and like You've tried very hard to work to get yourself off the list, and you've put some good thoughts as to why it may not be you. But like, I I think like that it's just impossible to get off the list once you're on it. So that's kind of tough.
All right, let's move to the next question.
All right.
Because like I figure like sock puppet is fun, but if you're not in drone racing, I don't know, you might not.
Yeah,
Let's
well, that's
see.
it. Just go check it out. If you
Yeah,
like
go
drones,
check
you
it out.
haven't
There are
heard
some
it, go
memes,
look
there are
at the sock
spicy ones,
puppet.
there are some weird
Yeah, there's
memes.
some pretty spicy
I think sock puppet can gain like, you know, can be a little bit more like, you know, rougher, how it's called, like more spicy, but you know, yeah. Anyways, boom.
Yeah, boom, done. But check him
All right,
out.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But although I'll just say one last thing. Oh, Lead Fingers is here too. Yeah, listen, Lead, you're on the list too. You know you are. You're a suspect. But I'll just say to finish it that like it's been very fun to try to figure out who it is, but I kind of hope we don't, because I think it'd be less fun if we knew who it was. So like just never tell us.
Yeah, all right, Brandy. What's next?
Will champs ever be in Dallas?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, so let's allow Johnny 5 to like.
So I've never been to champs. I would like to go to champs, but so far I've worked out to make about 4 FPV trips a year, and so like only 2 far ones though. And so far my far ones are Ice Race and IO. So champs just won't make the list. And so it would be nice to kind of rotate that around, maybe like West Coast, Central, East Coast, so that we can get a little more of those folks to come. I'm not sure if there's other pilots out there like me that if there was one in centrally located, they would go. But for Florida right now, I probably will choose to just keep going to IO unless something changes and I can do an extra trip.
Yeah, I think that Florida location is fun, and like I've been this like no quarter range, like right, that's how you pronounce, right? Yeah. So, but it's just like in the middle of nowhere. Like it's hard to get the Airbnb, it's hard to get a good hotel. Like you gotta drive for 20 minutes to like you know, get some food or something, and it's like a deadline. You have to stop at 10 because neighbors starts. How do you say it? They start complaining about that. Yeah. So, and Dallas is a freaking nice place. They have 1 field. They can also even have 2 fields. And there are a bunch of Airbnbs. The airport is close by, and yeah, it'd be awesome to have. And also Dallas, 4 hours drive from here. So
Yeah,
it's not
I mean-
like I'm not biased, but Dallas is 4 hours drive
Right,
from here.
but I mean, like you know, Sean and I have talked a lot about what makes a good champs location, and yeah, it's just like proximity to the airport, proximity to hotels, proximity to food, and food that's open at the time that the race will be complete. And I mean, I'll say that the No Quarter Ranch is probably the best venue for drone racing that I've ever been to. As a venue, the property itself, when you arrive on that property, it is an amazing place for a drone race. They have really, Michelle and Lead Boy there have really like built an awesome place. They really love drone racing and have really put a lot of work into like showing that love of drone racing and sharing it with the community. And that place is amazing. Just the only drawback is like you said that it is a challenge to get to. It's an hour and a half from the airport. Yeah. And the 10 p.m. cutoff is hard. Like, I understand having neighbors. Like, so I get it. I understand why it's there. It's a challenge for us because we always struggle to run on time. Although, I'll say like running on time, I think MultiGP has done a very good job of running on time this year. I think we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit, but I think it has to do with some of the staff additions they've made there. I think that they've really stepped up their team. Yeah. All right.
Give us spicy questions.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah, we want
He wants a
spicy
spicy
questions.
one.
Like, you want to get real spicy?
Yeah, like real spicy.
Whoa.
Oh, I think Johnny 5 is the best guy to chime in
Jesus, you
here.
went real spicy on that one.
Let's go. I think we need to like you need to explain for people who don't know. Like, yeah.
Which frame are we talking about? Which frame are we talking about?
Yeah, like let's move on to the next.
The open source hyperframe.
Oh, the Typhon.
Yeah, it's
Typhon?
like golly.
Well, the only answer to that is if they stole that frame, did they steal the Open Racer? because
Oh,
your
okay,
frame
well,
is
this is a
also
better way to
open
say it.
source,
Okay,
and
this is
they're
different.
they're selling that one too. So
No, okay. Well, they're both open source frames, and like I think that like that's if you want to go open source, then you know that the whole point of going open source is to allow other people to manufacture and sell it to get your product out there. So like that's I don't think there's any question about like whether any like that's
But like, do you have to like? Is it nice to ask permission to, you know?
is it nice to ask?
Yeah, because like, well, I'm not sure if they ask me, but like, I'm in I'm in a close communication with Armando.
Yeah.
And Evan.
No, get it hard, the hard.
Yeah,
Nice.
so I'm in close communication with them, and so like they didn't have to ask me. They knew I'm excited about Open Racer B at 533. But
Right.
what about Hyper? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, are we just like talking shit here? I don't know if they asked him or not. So like,
I don't know if they do. I think the question would be if they didn't, should they have?
Yeah.
And to me, if it's open source, I wouldn't ask. And there's kind of a precedent for this a couple years back. As we all know, Trappy and Race Day Quads are not the biggest fans of each other. And there was a little bit of to do when Race Day Quads first started making some Source 1s. And the polite thing to do that everybody thought was to say TBS Source 1. TBS had a little bit of issue with that. They don't like to sell. They don't like to allow TBS products sold there, I think. I don't know too much about it. And so they were like, you can't call it that. You need to call it RDQ Source 1. And I think that Race Day Quad's side of it, they thought they were being polite by putting their name because they were using their design. But I don't think there was a question of asking first. And I don't think there needed to be since it was open source. Now, the new frame that Hyper designed, the Kronos, is not open source, and I think it's only being sold by one place. So, FPV Supply.
All right, Mr. Hyper.
oh, he's there.
Yeah, Mr. Hyper says open source is open source. It is what it is. Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess it is. Yeah. So.
Oh, look. Okay, so this is interesting. It's more of a courtesy thing, but no biggie. I like that. And then Leadfingers also one of the founders of Street League, who has an open source policy, who we kind of have created a bunch of drama with their open source policy with 523 in the past also. But must you ask no? Should you ask yes? Okay, so like that's interesting thought on it. So
Yeah.
But yeah. But like you don't have to like and like that's sort of the whole point. And like in 533 also. Like, had to open source. Mondo had to open source his designs in order to get them into the Street League spec. And so, like, I think that opened Mondo's eyes to what the power of open source could be. And so if he's going to share his frames with the market, then there's no reason why they can't, like, market other open source frames.
Yeah, I think it's also a little bit connected here because I think that Hyperframe was selling from Dean's store. I think it's like deandrones.com or something. And that was like they were selling this frame exclusively. And now all of a sudden, like the most popular racing store in the United States, 533 I don't know, maybe, but seems like the 533 the most popular, right?
Maybe
it's not true, but anyway, very popular store starts selling this. So I bet it cut some of the sales from Dean Drones, and then, maybe Hyper was getting like $1 or something from the frame, and now he's not. So, and maybe I am not spicy about that because my frame, like, I didn't get any cuts, and I still don't have any
dollars
cuts.
from anybody for open racing. And I've kind of always thought that you should, me being like the capitalist pig that I am, that you should get cuts from it. But like, yeah, I mean, anyways.
I've been enjoying that my frame is out there and just it's open source, and I love that. Like, I got a little bit of cut if you use my affiliate links at 533, but that's enough for me already just to see you guys flying it. So it's been a blast. Yeah. All right. What's the next spicy question?
Let's see here. Why does everyone feel the need to comment on your hair?
Oh yeah, I like this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I saw Alec, I forgot the last name. He was he was also asking me who cut Ivan's hair. So I have an interesting thought about that. So
yeah, what's your thoughts?
So my thought is like a little bit weird. So a lot of guys commenting about my hair are bald.
Oh shit!
So I know if you, I'm not gonna tell names. Well, this
Yeah.
is drama, but maybe not enough drama. But yeah, so they don't have hair and they
We
commenting.
need you to name.
No.
name.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna tell one name. Probably.
name.
Probably he will be good with this. This is our Mr. Matthias Borlacha.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
not
Fucking
like
Matt
completely
talks about-
bald, but
there
like
goes
you
my
know.
first F-bomb. Matt
Yeah.
talks about
Yeah.
your hair a lot, and he is missing a lot. So
Yeah. So the situation with my hair is that Jane had an idea that I grow hair like there's like an actor with like this long hair. I forgot.
Neil?
Yeah, well, Neil too, yeah. But my takeaway from this is like I just want to be as close to my expert, you know. Maybe one day I'll be as cute as Mr. Nice. So yeah,
Why is it so cute?
yeah.
yeah. I think this is one of the questions, right?
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So I think this is related to other questions we have. So first of all, I think he's pretty much aware he's cute, right? And
I
also,
mean, I've heard it a couple of times.
and also for some reason he matches his sunglasses with his shirt every time. And so the drama question was like, is his wife aware of that? Like aware? All right.
When we go on vacation, he packs like 8 pairs.
Yeah.
8 is I don't know that
And
I've
he
ever
keeps
packed
freaking
8.
losing them.
Yeah.
Losing, dropping them everywhere. He like Neil sits in your car for 5 minutes, walks away, 3 sunglasses on the floor of your car. Like yeah, so this is it.
Sky.
Oh yeah.
The puppet.
What's it? Oh, Sky has arrived. So this is Mr. Sock Puppet FPV right here.
Yeah, well,
That's
he is
with, like,
suspect number.
suspect
top of the
number
list.
1
I
for
won't,
Sock
I won't
Puppet,
put a
yeah.
number on it because I don't want him to scare too
What
hard.
he
but-
says, so Hyper says,
Oh,
answer Sky,
so
please.
Hyper says very important question, and no, this is Sky asking, and we're gonna put this to Johnny 5 first. So very important question, Johnny 5. When getting dressed, please tell me the order in which you put on your socks, shirts, pants, or shirt. Like so, you like socks, pants, shirt.
I think for me, it's always shirts, then socks,
Oh.
then pants.
Oh wow.
So I think the funny thing about that also like I don't remember if we had a question about that Johnny 5 never cuts the like label and tags from his clothes until it's like too late. When he puts zip tie on his
that's
drone, the zip tie is just like, you know, if it's like half foot zip tie, it's just there on his drone. And like probably he has the tags on his underwear like right now from like a year ago or something. So yeah. So
I do have a thing where I don't like to take tags off of things until like I have to wash it or something. You never know if you might have to turn it back in.
What a funny way to say that. I just don't know. I might have to turn it back in, so I leave the tags on.
a year later, I don't know. Yeah.
My wife really hates when I leave the house with a tag on something. But I've learned to tuck them in to where you can't really tell that much.
I mean, but like, how does your body not tell that? Like, shit's got to be so scratchy. Like,
Well, now Johnny 5 is like, if it's not scratchy, he doesn't feel comfortable anymore. So
So I took the tag off of this shirt because I figured there's no way I could return it to anywhere.
I mean, that one's
One of a
definitely
kind.
yours. This is a Johnny.
all
Five
right,
swag. I
what's
like it.
what's the next question?
Well, wait,
all right.
you answer it. So how do you are you like shirts, pants, socks in what order?
I think shorts and then socks and then pants. Yeah.
Wow.
But
okay.
I don't really understand why. Like, is it like
just
some
says a lot
American
about
thing
you
to
as a
like?
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea, but this is like Sky wanted to know. So Yawsome says that he is socks first, then pants, then shirt, and I really have to think about it. I am probably.
Your socks last.
Yeah, I'm socks last for sure. That's the only one I'm for sure. I know that I'm socks last. Like, but pants first, shirt. I think I'm pants first, then shirt. Yeah. Well, look. So like Brandy can confirm. So it's pants, shirt, socks for me. So I don't know. Does that mean? Well, I don't know what that means about me. Somebody in the chat could decide.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, Sean's also pants, shirt, socks. All right, Sean. I knew we were tight. Socks last is the only way. Yeah. See, the milkman knows what's up too. Yeah. Hypernose. Yeah, socks is
Yeah,
like
well, I work from home, so sometimes it's just shirt because it's kind of cold out. Yeah.
That's true. Also.
And like since you work like in like teams or whatever, like the camera's just desk up.
No,
so
I never
you're
really have
good.
camera, but like you're like sitting under AC that blows from from above. So like legs are not being cold, but like you need something up here.
So you
Like
just need a shirt, and
Yeah.
you're ready to code all day long.
all day long. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's go next question.
Look,
I'm muted. That was kind of drama. Yeah. So guys, you missed it. So this is it. This is the answer. So the question was if I ever do like a black box video for shit pilots, and who was the
Shane Doe.
Shame Dagger. All right, yeah. So first of all, I think I'm not a great tuner. A bunch of people lately been sending me like black boxes so that like I tune their quads, and that after that I kind of get better. But I'm still a shit tuner besides being a shit pilot. Yeah. So maybe one day I do like a little black box thing, how I tune. But yeah, I'm like, I have a very exciting, at least exciting for me, videos coming. Like I'm still procrastinating about them, but they're very exciting. It's gonna be one video gonna be about D-shot, and Neil is there as like a nice expert. We already
Yeah.
filmed that part.
I remember
Neil's an expert like about D-shot.
It's a little risky.
Yeah. And so, but I am very excited. I was digging kind of deep in the D-shot, speaking to like Keys Ultra developers, speaking to Betaflight developers a lot in person, and I kind of like I got even an oscilloscope to like measure all kind of D-shots and like with bedrock D-shots. So this is kind of coming. I'm very excited about this video. Hopefully it's gonna come soon. Yeah. But not tuning. Yeah, I don't know. Not anytime soon. But this is not a spicy question.
Yeah, we're kind of at the end of.
All right.
Oh, okay. So that like we need just spicy questions from the chat then. How long have we been on at this point? Like I feel like it's just been rolling, but we.
Oh yeah, it's 9:19.
Okay,
Yeah,
so just an hour. Okay, hour and 20. We got a little bit more time then.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a question from Mr. Unknown Subject.
Yeah, let's see
What
the
do
chat.
you guys do when you hit a wall on circuits? Like, as you can't get better times no matter what you do. Well, that's hard. I mean, I think that there's always something to do, and it's sometimes easier to pick out what you need to do than it is to actually do the thing you recognize you need to do. So, like, I mean, when you're flying a track all day, I kind of think that you can kind of dissect the elements in some way and like find the places you're losing time. And then you just got to like really plan out how you're going to attack that obstacle differently, and then be very deliberate about trying to follow that plan to shave time in that obstacle. I think like, but it can get like very discouraging when you're trying to go fast, because if you're trying to go fast, you're going to crash a lot. And like, I don't know, I guess try to explain that. Like, it's kind of like if you play golf and you try to hit the ball really hard, you're going to hit it poorly. And like, I feel like if you try to go fast, you're going to crash a lot. And it's important to just like concentrate on smoothness and not, blowing out turns and like really trying to slow down and do it well, and that'll bring you better lap times than trying to do it faster.
Yeah, Cole must listen to this right now. Listen, Cole. Cole is like our local guy who's like always excited about going fast. Like this is his goal. Just beat everyone for the whole shot, and then he's done for the day. Like just packing and leaving. Like yeah. So yeah. By the way, we had a few questions from my Patreons. Like so do you want to cover them, guys?
Yeah.
So like the questions was like the guys wanted to know more about you. Like, how did you start hobby? Do you do like freestyle racing? What do you do for for the living? If you do drones for the living, just like 3 minutes personal time about Neil, and then we will me and Johnny 5 will make fun of your personal life.
So we start with me first then. Oh, well, let's break it down. So I think the first, like, how long I've been flying, was that in there somewhere? So this year, in fact, this month is my 10-year FPV anniversary. So I had my first FPV in May of 2023, and like that's now 10 years, or May of 2013, and we're now in May of 2023. So like that's so I've been flying now for 10 years. And do I fly? I mean, so racing is certainly my primary discipline, I'll say. But I really enjoy freestyle a lot, although I don't do it enough. But I think what I enjoy more than even racing is like long range mountain flying. I really don't get to do that as much as I'd like to. But everywhere I travel, I take a drone with me, and I love like exploring in a new place, especially flying far away and on big rock formations. Like, that's very special to me. Like, it hits me in the feels deep to fly like that. So that's for sure my favorite type of flying. What were some of the other ones?
Like, what do you do for a living?
For a living, well, right now I'm trying very hard to be a professional drone pilot, and like do like work with some production companies and film companies and do some live stream work. It's kind of hard for me to say that I'm doing that full time because it ain't. But like, I've got more jobs now than I've had in the past, and like I'm looking for more to come. So anybody out there, although everybody in listening flies, so I'm trying to do that. I think like I'm now co-owner of a Shit Pilot, and I'm really excited about where Shit Pilot's gonna go and like what I think we're gonna be able to do with that. I got a lot of plans for where Shit Pilot can go as a company, and like where I think just like most basically, there's just nobody selling drone apparel, and so I think there's a space in the market for some really cool apparel. But I think, I mean, if you just tap back into what I talked about in my like philosophical thinkings about Shit Pilot, I think that it can really grow into something big there too. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Neil's very philosophical.
I am, yeah. I like to get deep, and yeah, and I'm a retired nurseryman. Like, so that's where grower comes from.
So first
Like,
time when Neil told me he's like a nurseryman, I thought he's like working in the hospital.
And
And then I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, you're like saving lives. And then he says it's like growing plants.
yeah, I'm saving plant lives.
Yeah, this is also cool.
Yeah. So it's a family business that I ran. Brandy and I both ran for almost 15 years, and then like built. Kind of really burnt ourselves out on that, and still own it. Still am like in the business from a high level, but have built a team to run that business so we can concentrate on what we really want to do and like what I really love, and that's flying. And so like, so professionally, that's my main pursuit now, is working on flying flying gigs for sure.
Didn't leave much fun for us to make. I feel like.
No, sorry. I mean, please make fun of me though wherever you can.
Look at him.
Yeah, he can't get jobs. Nobody will hire him.
I didn't say that. I didn't say. All right. So Johnny 5, what about you? If you want to share, if you don't, if like John is pretty secret guy, so I don't know. Yeah.
So I've been flying since, I think I flew my first drone around 2015, and FPV 2016, and then race 2017. So then I started YouTube January 2018. So that was sort of an interesting transition. I was mostly just trying every little drone out there, and I had a background in doing student films and playing with cameras for a long time, and I finally was able to combine those because at the time I didn't think there was like a lot of great channels. When I started racing, I really looked up to like people mentioned Sed Hindo and Envy Astro, and I used to watch a lot of Johnny Fly, and so it was cool meeting him, and like for the first time, even though I think we both got confused for each other a lot. So over time though, I mostly started focusing on racing, and my channel's shifting a little bit more over towards that from reviews. I don't think that that's really good for growth, but it's really more of what I'm actually doing in the hobby. And so for me to keep doing it and not get burnt out, I just found it easier to focus on what I actually like to do, try to focus on showing these guys. I figured out eventually that just showing what it's like to be at the night spot or at a race, it's always like a good amount of time, and I realized these guys are a lot more entertaining than I am. And so the more that we can kind of just show what it's like, it's a lot of fun. So for work, I'm a IT person. I've been kind of with the healthcare focus for many years, and I kind of specialize in surgery research and optimization. So
Sammy the cat says Johnny Five voice is like butter.
Oh, it is.
It's so smooth. It's like
Yeah, guys, go check out Johnny Five channel, and I think his Johnny Five best video is the video of Costarica.
oh yeah.
And that's the best video. I think it's like, I don't know, 200,000 views or something.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I just passed 400.
Wow. I mean, like, and I know it's so good that maybe 2 or 3 months ago I watched it again and like from start to finish, and it's just so good. And like, and the first time I watched it and the second time I watched it, like, brings a small tear to my eye to like watch the piece about Minchan there. And so like that's just such good work that you did to try to like get across, you know, the real feeling of what it's like to be there and like what he's put into it. So I mean that's just such an awesome video, for sure.
Hopefully I can do more like that. That one was just to kind of prove to myself I could tell a story, and it was like the first time I was able to combine like an old passion of writing and sort of filmmaking into something that related to like my new passion, and I didn't really know if anybody was going to watch it at all or care, and I spent like a ridiculous amount of time on it, but I'm glad that it kind of worked out, and hopefully I'll be able to do some more of those in the future.
Yeah, and the unknown subject says that MCK video was so good. He literally says that. I think I missed one O. She's
I
like,
think
oh.
you did, but that was pretty close. Good job on
Yeah,
that. For
thank
sure.
you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think, and then you did mention it before. Another video John's made that I like a whole lot. That you mentioned it earlier about like, like telling people to come and race. Like, I don't know what's the title of that video. Like,
It's like 10 tips for your first drone race or something.
That's a great video, and like you just shot that. Like, it's a bunch of us out at Andy's place one day, and like, but it's such a good video, and like really goes into. So whoever like asked that question earlier about that, like, go watch that video, because like I think those tips are really great, and we shot that like, I don't know, 3 years ago now, but it just still stands up today for sure.
All right, so we have a few more questions from my Patreons. By the way, subscribe to my Patreon. The link is somewhere on YouTube, I think. Yeah. Well, if you want to support, or just subscribe to my channel, like, and Neil, you need to like punch the camera, like, and all other like
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So anyway, so Gabriel asks, what do you change for the drone racing genre to appeal the masses and bring more people in? Yeah, this is a complicated question. That's a question definitely like it's not for me. It's like, for example, for Shames, Heart of America, Team Captain, and Father Freedom Spec, or like Street League guys. I think that's what they're trying to achieve. They make drones slower. They add LEDs to their drones. They do like a nice live streaming, and maybe that slowly moves there. That's for sure. And he also asks, what are the trends seeing the FPV community? Do you think it's growing? I don't know. Like, I think
what was the question?
The question is like,
what trend is growing in drone
what
racing?
trend are seeing in the FPV community? Do you think it's growing, FPV community?
Well, what trend do I see growing is spec racing. Yeah. Do I then? But is that the question, or
what trend are you seeing in the FPV community?
That are growing. Yeah.
Mark, do you think is growing?
Okay, so yes, I would say spec racing is a trend that I'm seeing in the community. Like, this is going to be our 3rd season of spec racing, I feel like, and that there are more people involved in it every season. I think spec racing is great because I think it lowers the barrier to entry for new pilots. There are so many choices you have to make if you're a new pilot as to what gear you're going to choose, that I just think, like, if there's somebody that says, here's gear you can choose, like, that can be helpful in some ways. And then, like, as a racer, I just want good close racing. And, like, that I can see in spec racing a lot. Like, I don't want to take away from open class racing. I think open class racing is really awesome. I think that like that's where the envelope is pushed. That's where like you're able to see the limit of like what humans can do. I don't think we're there yet. Like we're not at the limit of the drone. Like we're still at the limit of the pilot. And I think that's very cool to see like where that continues to go. Yeah. But yeah, I think spec racing is growing for sure.
And by the way, I forgot to say, if Hyper is still watching, Hyper camera position on your drone does not matter. No, makes no difference. I'm muted again, sorry. So Timothy asks, any thoughts on vertical carbon plates for the canopy, similar to Kauri X Street League frame on the Open Racer? I've never thought about that. Like, it's possible, but then you need to modify the base plates. And I think canopy works amazing. Like, I'm very glad how canopy works. So no plans on that yet so far. Yeah. Sorry if I disappointed you. But yeah.
So we got a question from Steven's box, like what's open class versus spec racing? So open class is like basically no rules, is just as fast as you can make your quad go. And what that really has become is using a 6S battery, it's 5-inch props, and it's a high KV motor from 19 to 2200 KV. And I would say that that's where you'll find like open class racing today. And it's just basically, this is as fast as we know how to make a drone to go today, and let's race the fastest drones possible. And that's open class racing. Spec racing is, there's a few different specs that have emerged. I would say that the top two are Freedom Spec and Street League, both of which dictate which propellers you use, which motors you use, maybe some now firmware dictations in both of those leagues to say, with the goal of slowing the quads down and bringing the racing closer together.
Yeah, I think the goal is like to slow everyone equally down. So everyone has the same slow drones, same weight, same props, same motors. Basically, Street League allows different motors, yeah, but they kind of equalize the different motors. Yeah, and so it makes it easier to spectate, makes it easier to comment. It doesn't make it easier to fly. So when you have a slow drone, you have to think way harder about your lines. You don't have actual like room for mistake, because like you do a little bit of wider on the turn, you don't crash, right? You just behind now suddenly. Like you do a wide turn and then you see 3 quads passing you, and then they stay like this in front of you for the next race. You can't catch them. They're like right there. You can reach them with your hand, but sorry, that's how it works. Yeah, you like until they make a mistake or you do a few super tight turns. So yeah, that's the spec racing these days is like just about going like not faster but tighter, like managing your drone inertia. Yeah, and that's been cool. I've been enjoying that, although I also enjoy open class too.
Yeah. Oh, we got so a couple from the chat. I did miss Tiny Trainers is another spec racing that's probably maybe the biggest one, actually. There's probably more Tiny Trainer racing than anywhere else. And Tiny Trainers are a 3-inch 3S quad that's a spec'd frame from 533. That's what all three of us raced in the Tiny Trainer race at the Ice Storm. So at the Ice Storm, there was a Tiny Trainer class and an open class, and we all chose to race Tiny Trainers. And I had a blast doing it. That was, I know, my first Tiny Trainer race. I think it was also your first like official Tiny Trainer race, and like, was it also yours, Johnny, or you had your second? Nice. So like, I think the Tiny Trainers are really big further north. Us being all from the Houston area, we're lucky enough to have good flying weather, like 5-inch outdoor weather year round, basically. So we've never really dove into Tiny Trainers as hard as the guys up north do, who are like shut down for the winter and race inside. So, but it was really cool to like join the up north boys on their territory racing their quads in the like right coming out of winter. That was kind of a fun thing to go do. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, so Neil ended up number 7.
Yep.
Yeah, and I ended up number 6, and Johnny 5.
I think I was 25th.
Yeah, well, that's respectable.
It's
yeah, there was a lot of people
again,
there.
You see, guys, there's no shame in crashing or whatever.
Yeah.
I crashed in my finals, and
yeah, me too.
yeah. Freaking dreams. If you're watching, you hit me, or
did.
I hit you, but I crashed. You didn't.
Dreams.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Steven's box, I think it was him, asked, what software you use to design Open Racer Pod.
Oh, that's all Fusion 360. Yeah.
So yeah, Fusion 360. That's the software that you use, and I'd say that's the software that a lot of the people I see using design frames or pods or stuff like that are all using. Fusion
Yeah, if you need
360.
files, just hit me up on Facebook or something, and then I can share like Fusion 360 files, no problem for you to modify.
I did see his chat. His chat was more about like that he's just looking to get into it and curious what software you use. So Fusion 360.
All right, Brandon.
Yeah. Oh, and then what? Did we miss Steven's Bucks? Did we miss another super chat from him? Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, sorry, Steven's box. Yeah, sorry, but I think we covered it now. Awesome. All right, guys. Any more spicy questions before?
Yeah, we have Sandy the cat. He asked twice about the Houston versus Dallas racing.
Okay, so Andy's place was barbecuing drones in the night spot
Yeah.
and medium parking lots. Dallas feels like regulations and paperwork. Well, I mean, like,
Yeah, like, I don't agree that Dallas is like regulations and paperwork. That's what Sam is trying to say. Like, this is not true. Of course, you have to have your FAA, which is like $5 for how many, like 3 years, and AMA. I think you're good with like Park Pilot, which is just like $15 or $20 a year. Like, well, I mean, you can call it paperwork, but
Right.
I wouldn't mind it because Dallas is a great racing scene. They have their home field. And like, I wish we have it here in Houston, and like, we are working in this direction, right? Hopefully soon we're gonna have our own home field today, thanks to Spark RC guys. But I enjoy driving to Dallas. Neil, I don't know, not so much lately.
yeah,
For
not as
whatever
much lately,
reason.
but I do
driving to
enjoy
Dallas.
going.
I enjoy flying here in Houston.
I would say just like we definitely have a way more laid back scene. They're definitely, they have put in the work to have their home with the city, and so there's some like, some guides they have to follow because they have the parkland. And while we had something beautiful with Andy's place, and like it was a very special place, and I miss it oh so much, like it's gone now, and like because we weren't as regimented as the Dallas guys, we don't have a home field anymore. And like so they put in a little paperwork, but they got a home field forever.
Yeah,
and
look
like
at
we're kind of struggling.
what we're doing now. Instead of flying, we're just like sitting here and like.
But we did get to spend the night with everybody cool here.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
been great.
So,
I think that's been great.
yeah.
I don't know. Did we miss any spicy questions, super chats?
Did y'all answer his question about the 3D?
Yeah, Fusion 360.
But in what 3D printer? Well, and that all depends on your budget. I'm new to 3D printing, but I bought a used Ender 3 and have.
I think Johnny 5 knows a lot about 3D
Yeah, Johnny's
printing.
way more into it.
Definitely get started with an Ender 3 if you're willing to put a little bit of time. $200 to $300 can really get you everything you need to print anything in FPV. If you want to just not have to deal with tuning or fixing, Bamboo Labs makes a really nice printer. There's some engineers that spun off from DJI, and it's just prints perfect every time, no messing with settings, and that's about $700 to $1,000 depending on which model.
But man, I've seen the videos of those Bamboo Labs printers, and they're dope. And I want one pretty bad. And I have, being new to printing, have felt the struggles of printing, and it can be very discouraging. It's no different than a quad. It's a hole to bury yourself in. There's a lot to learn. And it's cool. I got a whole basket of trinkets I printed out when it was working, but it's frustrating as hell when it doesn't work. The whole thing, man. We're almost done.
Sorry. It was about 15 minutes, Joe Mama, in the middle.
You're still muted. It.
No, not anymore.
What the fuck?
No, one, two,
There's
three.
number 2.
All right, yeah, sorry. So, Joe Mama, about somewhere in the middle of this live stream, it was 15 minutes discussing just about you. So, go check it out.
So, yeah, nothing spicy. Nothing too spicy yet. See, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun tonight, Sean. And I think that maybe this is a good point to I don't know. It's been really fun. I really appreciate everybody, joining. It's been fun. I'm sure we'll do it again. But I just want to
Yeah,
thank
next
everybody
time
for
maybe
joining.
we'll do it like over internet. I'm not sure. Like even though like that's fun, but that was a lot of work to set up. So.
It's a lot of work, but I just think like even though we're 4 boxes here, all of us being in the room together, like the vibes are strong, and I think we could do well on the internet, but it'll always be better if we're here together for sure. And like again, thanks everybody for joining. Go check out shitpilot.com. Check out our new drop, the golden hour drop. And I appreciate everyone's support there too. And like, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Yeah, see you in my videos on Johnny 5 channel later.
All right.
The clip stop
Peace,
streaming.
everybody.